Okay, so this is the first character reveal that was not in the announcement trailer. This is happening way sooner than I expected because we still had Orihime and we still have White. You know, the Zangetsu Spirit, White Ichigo. I definitely thought those two were coming first. There's a lot of people, by the way, that think that Orihime will not be playable. She hasn't been confirmed, you know. She showed up, but it could have been just a story cutscene. It could be. I mean, I think she's kind of mandatory, but I don't think they would skip her. This is a new stage too, which is cool to see. If you're new here, we react and break down these trailers every single week. First, we just go for the vibe, you know. Of course, Gin is going to have an expecting sword. But then we actually pause it, read the description of the moves, theorize a little bit of about how this character plays. Bankai, sweet, sweet, sweet. Of course, like this game takes us through the Arrancar arc. So seeing Gin's Bankai was expected. Ooh, the sound there. Sheesh. Well, let's break down the character, and I want to start before we even talk about any of his moves. This basic attack string has me wondering if his range is the small blade that he's wielding, or if it's the big effect that comes after the blade. Because his blade, if you watch this in slow motion, is extending and retracting with each move. I think that's a really cool animation and perfect for Gin as well. If that actually hits his opponent, that's gonna have some crazy range with his basic attacks. And for how fast these slashes are, I think that's really, really strong. Signature move, Serpent Strike. Extend Shinso towards the opponent with a high-speed thrust. Holding the input strengthens the performance. Shinso is his blade, and as expected, this is like the first move that Gin ever does. But in this game, it seems like it's one that you can hold down the input. You can just press it and have the sword go quick, or you can hold it down, increasing the power, but also it comes out slower. You're kind of telling your opponent it's coming. They might just sidestep it and punish you. Who knows? That makes a lot of sense for his signature move, so let's talk about his spiritual pressure move 1, Urozuki. Ichimaru turns his back to the opponent to catch them off guard, then extends his Shinso to counterattack. If the counterattack lands, he activates Snake Possession, and the attack damage of the tip of Ichimaru's spear is enhanced. So this is a counter move like many others we've seen before. If Ichimaru is attacked while his back is turned to the opponent, he's gonna counterattack just like that, and this follow-up seems to be a part of it. It looks like a really cool follow-up, by the way. Spiritual pressure move 2, Shinso Sosen. Cleave a wide area with Shinso. If the attack lands, it extends for a follow-up attack. Yeah, so here's the cleave. This is the move that you do. The follow-up only happens if you actually connect. And for his awakening, we have his Bankai Kamishini no Yari, where Ichimaru's range of attack increases, allowing for a fighting style that keeps the opponent at bay. So from the looks of it, his moveset remains the same, but it's like every attack is bigger. I mean, right here, this is the second spiritual pressure move. It's the cleave into the follow-up, but if that thing is bigger, it's just like a lot more powerful after he goes into awakening. And of course, we have the character summary: strong, medium to long range combat, utilizing long reach abilities to keep opponents at bay. This character scares me. Legit looks like a really scary character with the range that the guy has. Yep, consider me very, very scared. Hey Globku, the Steam page of the game is sharing some info on gameplay regularly. Today they talked about Konpaku and the Kikon move. Yes, thank you so much for making me aware of this. If you go to the Steam page, they are publishing combat tips. And in these combat tips, they're explaining what the mechanics of this game are. Now, these blog posts are very, very short, but they do have some interesting details. For instance, one of the aspects we were all wondering about is how do you damage the Konpaku? How do you take away the lives of your opponent? Like, what makes you take only 2 lives versus 4 lives? What difference is there? And they explained that there are actually 2 ways of doing this. One is by just depleting the health gauge, or reishi, and another one is when the opponent has less than 30% of their reishi, you can use something called Hakugeki, which blows up the opponent, creating a large gap, and then use the Kikon move for a follow-up, which is kind of the special move that they've been showing. I'm not really sure what Hakugeki is. I have Googled it, and the first result is a Naruto page, so this game strikes again. Another cool thing they specified was about the reverse actions. So there is a reverse gauge that every character has, and one of your abilities that seems to be kind of universal is reverse action, which just buffs your character. But how does it buff your character, you ask? Well, now we know. Depending on how you activate reverse action, it could be white, yellow, or blue, and this will have different effects. So if you just activate it in neutral, it will be white. It will increase your spiritual power or meter and recover your reishi or HP. If you use it in a combo, it's going to be yellow, and it kind of just continues the combo. It's kind of like a Roman cancel in Guilty Gear, and also increases your spiritual power. And then, if you're getting comboed, if you're getting hit by your opponent, you can actually use this as a combo breaker, and it will be blue. It will cancel the opponent's combo, and it will recover your guard gauge. So you'll be able to block again in case your guard gauge has been broken. Really cool details, and this actually links really well into the next question. At this point, I just want to see a full match between 2 people. Yes, the game looks good, but the constant jump cuts through the trailer don't do the game justice. justice. And I think we won't have to wait long for this because on Sunday there is actually a gameplay showcase. And with this new information, I think we'll be able to understand that gameplay a lot better. I hope this gameplay showcase is actually uncut. I want to see a full match, even if it's between two beginners, two people just figuring out the buttons and mashing. I mean, that will just explain so much. It won't tell us everything we want to know, obviously, but like it will be a lot more clear how this game moves, what is the pace of the game, what is a basic attack auto combo. Maybe we even learn about combo structure. I mean, oh, I'm so looking forward this Sunday. They're making me work on a Sunday. No respect. I can't believe people have forgotten the Globku lives in Spain memes from fighters. I can. It's been so long. That was on a different channel. I think that was TGN Anime still. It's not surprising people forgot, but you're a real one, Rocky man. You've been here for way too long. I think this game will be fundamentally simple, but will have some underlying complexity with every character. Another theory is that skills will be customizable, because how is there an Ichigo without having Getsugatensho as a primary skill? It's literally the main power of Zangetsu. Okay, so about the game being fundamentally simple, I think in general anime games are. At a base level, they're generally easy to pick up and play, but there's actually like a big complexity that comes from diving into, you know, competitive scene and whatever. I think in general that's just true. Another theory is that skills will be customizable. I think that's kind of reaching right now. Could happen, and we actually don't know if Getsugatensho is not one of Ichigo's primary skills. I think it just doesn't have that name. I mean, during the gameplay overview, you can see Ichigo has two spiritual pressure moves. One of them is wielding, which they showcased in the character trailer, but the other one they didn't, and it's called All Out Slash. I think this is Getsugatensho because later in the trailer, we actually see Ichigo doing this move, and that looks like Getsugatensho to me. Though I will give you that it's super weird for this game to call this All Out Attack and not keep the original name Getsugatensho, when they are literally calling HP Reishi, and the souls are Konpaku. Like, they're choosing to not translate some moves and then translating others that I think are a bit more common knowledge, so I don't know. I've talked about it, I've gotten in trouble. I will stand my ground and say it's weird that they're not translating some of these moves. But that's just my opinion. I think it's a barrier of entry for beginners. But if Bleach fans are fine with them not translating Konpaku and translating Getsugatensho, then whatever. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just inconsistent. If you got any theories or thoughts that you would like to share about this game, leave them in the comments down below. All of these comments came from the previous video. So every week, since we're here every Monday, I pick 3 to 4 comments to highlight and just see where you guys are at. That's gonna do it for today. But if you've missed last week's video, it was Urahara Kisuke. You can check that out right here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.